Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Paul Young,
Anesthetic.
anesthetic. Thank you for coming in. It's nice to meet you. Cold enough out there for you?
It's very cold.
Freezing this morning. Well, I went ahead and I scheduled 45 minutes today for our initial consultation. If you decide that we need some more time, maybe to go over some more facts, we can schedule another time that you can come back in and we can continue this. I just want to let you know that this initial consultation is free. There's no charge for it. And that way you can decide if I'm the right fit for you and your situation.
Okay.
As you probably are aware from the form that my receptionist had you fill out, that everything we discussed today is going to be confidential except for a few exceptions. They were listed on the form. Are you familiar with those?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Let me see. Why don't you go ahead and tell me what's going on?
Well, I am an anesthesiology resident at Big State Medical Center. And our department chair has been making inappropriate comments to me and some of the other female residents.
Mm-hmm.
He always refers to us by our first names while he talks to the other doctors using their last names, calls them doctor. And he also says things like he hired us just to fill the female quota for the center. And the other doctors say things like that he only hired us to fill because we're good looking or whatever, and to fill the quota. He calls us like anesthesia babes and just.
So at the very least, he's obviously offensive to you and the other ladies that work there.
Yes.
And sounds like demeaning, perhaps.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
He says things to us like when we're in the operating room, why we didn't choose a better suited field like nursing or being at home, a stay-at-home mom or whatever, and that we should be off at the spa and getting our nails polished instead of playing doctor. And at one point, he told me that with my age and education, I probably won't be able to find a husband anyway, so I might as well just continue being a doctor.
Really? That didn't make you feel too good about yourself, did it?
No.
What's this doctor's name?
It is Carl Oldschool.
Carl Oldschool. And is he your direct supervisor?
Yes.
Is he head of the department or anything like that?
Yes. He's
Okay.
the department chair.
Okay. Are there any other specific events of this type of behavior that you've seen or heard about, or that has gone on that you know of?
I just know that he speaks to all of us that way. I've noticed that he's changed the rotation schedule so that he doesn't have to work with the female residents. He doesn't have to.
So he does his best to avoid the female residents. Yes. Okay. Has this affected your pay or your? I mean, obviously he's changing the schedules. Has that been a hindrance to you or your other female coworkers?
Well, it hasn't affected our pay yet, but I believe that as time goes on, that our evaluations will start reflecting his attitude. And I was actually hospitalized twice last year for stress-related symptoms, and I believe that he contributed to that a lot. So
you believe that basically his discrimination towards you related to your stress that put you in the hospital?
Yes.
How long ago was that hospitalization?
It was last December and March.
And how long have you worked under this doctor's supervision?
A year.
1 year. Okay. What are your goals in coming to see me? What are we trying to do legally?
I basically just want to know if I have any legal options.
Against the doctor or the hospital?
Just to remedy the situation.
Okay. And what would you like to happen? As far as remedying, would you like not to work with this doctor? Would you like...
I'd just like to be treated equally.
Treated equally. good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Is there anything else that you can tell me about anything that's happened with this doctor? Do you know if he's had any other people or female members of the staff report any type of violations against him or any type of discrimination?
I don't know if they've reported anything.
Okay, that's something we need to look into. It sounds to me that you may have a case for discrimination against you and perhaps your other female colleagues. I'd be happy to research this case with you and your causes of action, which would be basically what we would sue for and why, and get back with you on that. If you do decide to retain me, I'm $175 an hour. In a case like this, it's hard to give you an estimate on what the total cost would be because it just depends on how far this case would go, obviously. I've handled a few discrimination lawsuits in the past, and there's a broad range of the amount that can be spent to handle this type of work. So what I do as an attorney is I bill bi-weekly. That way you know exactly where you are with the fee structure and what it's going to cost. I try not to get too ahead of my clients, that way they don't get a huge surprise bill. So if you want to go ahead and retain my services, we can. If you want to go home and think about it, you can call my secretary. We can get it set up. At that time, if you do decide to hire me, I'll just go ahead and have you sign a retention agreement, which will basically explain my role as an attorney, what I'm going to do for you, and your role as a client, what you're going to do, how our relationship is going to be handled. So do you want us to go ahead and sign that now, or did you want to come back in?
I will call your secretary.
Okay.
Later.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in. I appreciate your time. I hope to see you soon.